staying there the whole time. And again, that is just one minor change that they have made to the match protocol this season.
Well, both of these teams, they only played once last year. LSU came away with a win in that one in Baton Rouge. So these two teams, and the majority of players are back. Of course, you mentioned A&M without Holland Hands anymore. But for the majority of LSU's stat leaders are back this year, which gives the Aggies a good look at what they're going to be facing today.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see both of these teams. Like I said, they always put on a good show. It's always close, and we are going to see a lot of the same players, but a lot of new faces too, which is always exciting.
Looks like we're about to get started as these two teams will start the 2020-2021 volleyball season. It's strange that a season is going to last over 2 years, but it will. Pretty good crowd on hand here in College Station. Mentioned reduced capacity, but you won't tell from the sounds. These fans have been waiting for volleyball, and here we go. The Aggies take the first reception, and right away, the Aggies go back to Mallory Talbert, but she hits the antenna, so point LSU.
Yeah, nice idea there by Texas A&M. Talbert just kind of went off the antenna right there, which was going out, but you know, Bird talked to us before the match and said that is kind of her bread and butter. She really likes to go behind the setter. I'm sure we will see that many more times today.
Emily Walters, senior, one of the three seniors on this LSU team, serving again for the Tigers. Tough serve dug up by Voss, and then Camille Connor gets the kill for Texas A&M.
Well, Connor is one of the most aggressive setters you're going to see in Division I volleyball. The lefty loves going over in on that second contact, and especially when a pass is as tight as that last one was, she takes full advantage, and that's just something LSU's block is going to have to be aware of.
One of many defensive players you'll see for the Aggies today, Sestula with the serve, and a dig right there for Texas A&M. And then Morgan Davis, the emotional leader of this team, gets the start for the Aggies. Senior, along with her sister on the front row.
This is a nice job of Davis just getting up, seeing the hole, and getting the point, finishing it off for the Aggies.
Bannister with a swing there. Then comes A&M out of the back row. Again to Bannister, off the block. And Texas A&M is unable to come up with that one. Cameron Ennis got a hand on it for the Aggies.
And there's Bannister. We talked about her at the beginning of this broadcast. One of the big impact players for LSU. Again, has led this team in kills the past 3 seasons. She is their go-to.
Reagan Chanchuli, senior libero for the Tigers with the serve. Morgan Davis on the slide for the Aggies. Lauren Davis blocked, dug up by Texas A&M. They'll go right back to Davis on the outside, and she finds the line for the point.
This is a great job by Lauren Davis because she got blocked on her first swing. They got her the ball back right away, and instead of getting timid, instead of getting scared and maybe tipping the ball or roll shotting, she slams it down the line, makes that adjustment. Really nice work there by the sophomore.
Connor goes to the back row. There's a point for Morgan Davis again, off Chanchuli.
It is great to see Morgan Davis getting these kills early on in the match because she is their energy bus. That is what Bird told us before the match. And if you can get her creating points and then bringing that energy and that emotion, it's going to be contagious for the rest of her team.
First time we've seen LSU go to the outside. Whitney Foreman, a name we'll call out quite a bit here today, the junior, one of many Texans on the LSU roster.
Yeah, 9 Texas players on this LSU roster, and Coach Flory told us, you know, there's a lot of familiarity between these players. They've all grown up playing club against each other, maybe even playing with each other.
Bannister, tough serve, unable for Texas A&M to get anything going with that one, so point LSU. Bannister, another Texan from Missouri City, senior. Nice pass from A&M, but then Morgan Davis gets underneath that one a little too much.
Yeah, the set was pretty low from Camille Connor. She had to go to her knees with that pass, and because it was low, Davis almost looked like she was trying to go off the block because she really kind of made that ball go up.
Another tough serve from Bannister. Basham, libero for the Aggies. Got it up. Nice play from Chinchuli. And then a miss hit there by Foreman for LSU, point Texas A&M. The other captain for the Aggies, Allie Fields, goes back to serve. Her and Camille Connor, the leaders on this court. Block by Treyana Rush and Morgan Davis. Rush, first swing and off Bannister's hands for the point for Texas A&M.
Well, and I want to give a shout out to the libero for Texas A&M. Basham had to come up and get that free ball pass very short. She took control, got a great pass to Camille Connor, and then let the lefty do her job. Nice cross-court shot right there by Rush.
Good pass from LSU on that serve. Tip is rejected and then sent over. Rush again for Texas A&M off the block. Foreman blocked. Treyana Rush gets the point for Texas A&M.
Really nice block right here by Morgan Davis and Treyana Rush. Watching Rush hands push back into the court. You've got to do that when you swing block to the outside, or a smart hitter is going to use your hands all day long. But Rush did a great job of pushing those hands back into the court.
A&M now on a three-point run. Another block from the Aggies. Foreman tips it over. And then it's LSU with the block. Morgan Davis going to get called with the lift on that one. Point LSU. They stop the run.
Back and forth, back and forth. This is exactly what we expected. And I love the play at the net right now. Lots of blocks, lots of big swings. And it's going to be a matter of some of these hitters making smart decisions. And I'm interested to see if we'll see a few more roll shots and tips, some of those soft touches as these blocks continue to happen.
Definitely seeing a little more timid play on both sides of the net as Whitney Foreman goes to the bench for the Tigers. Camille Connor. And that's the first time we've seen Cameron Ennis for the Aggies. A lot of promise. They expect big things out of her transfer from Kansas.
Can we talk about the 5'6" setter who just roofed Cameron Ennis? Carly Rose, welcome to Reed Arena. What a block by the setter.
Another one. That one was Hill, Samara Hill got in on that one for LSU.
Yeah, this time they decide to go to the taller blockers, and they say, hey, we can do this too. Don't just leave it to the setter. Nice job right there stopping Rush for the block.
LSU continuing blocks. A&M free balls it over. Gonna have a bad set there from LSU as that one sailed over out of contact.
Morgan Davis got pretty close to the net right there. I almost thought she had reached over and kind of gotten in the way of Rose, but she was good enough, stayed disciplined, and the point ends up going to A&M on the error by LSU.
Hitting error there. Onwusi sends that one out, and it's the Aggie lead at 9-8.
Yeah, it was a nice swing right there by Onwusi, just a little bit too far off the sideline. You can see Coach Flory taking a minute to talk to her real quick, kind of change up that game plan, make sure she knows where she's going on the next swing.
Errant pass by LSU. Hill runs it down. The Aggies off the block. Point Texas A&M, Triana Rush, another point.
This is such a smart play by Camille Connor because she knows that Hill is going to have to be coming back into the court after chasing down that ball. So she goes to the right side. She goes to Rush, who's able to tool it off of Hill's hands for the kill.
Hill tried a soft shot, didn't hit it hard enough, and we've seen several of those hitting errors so far from LSU are going to be point. Sorry, the Aggies were in the net on that one, but still, I still say there was a hitting error on that one, and we've seen LSU have a few of those.
And this is just a mental error on Texas A&M. That ball was not even going to clear the net. It did not clear the net. And the reach, I want to say it was Mallory Talbert, just went a little bit too far, got into the net. That is just a point that cannot happen at this level.
Jill Bonnet with the serve. Point LSU, a big hit there.
Yeah, nice block there by Hill. Both of these teams, I'm very impressed with their blocking game. And again, interested to see what kind of adjustments these hitters can make as this match progresses.
LSU with 4 blocks already in this first set. Connor going down to her knees to pull that set up. Hill with a nice dig. Back to Rush off the block. Hill off the block for the point for the Tigers.
Great swing right there by Samara Hill on the outside. Not being afraid of that block, going right into the hands of Talbert. Getting the tool for the kill.
Bonet with another serve for LSU. Ennis off the block. Quick set to the middle. Miss hit there. She got underneath that one a little too much.
Now it's the freshman just getting a little anxious, trying to hit that ball. Oh, excuse me, junior. Transfer from Kansas. Yeah, first year here at Texas A&M. But yeah, just getting a little anxious on that swing. Let that one sail on her a little bit.
Largest lead we've seen from LSU now at 2 points. Talbert tried to push that one deep, but LSU was there. Another push from Hill. Rush. Block goes out of bounds, so point Texas A&M.
With good blocking teams, you're going to see a lot of these touches, and although LSU was able to get that one because it went so high and kind of sailed, what that is, you've got to press those hands over and down. All these girls can get plenty high above the net. It's about controlling those hands to make sure that that block goes back into the court.
Neither team hitting well because the blocking has been there from the other side. There you saw an attempted kill by Carly Rose, the setter for LSU, tried to go over on the second ball. Coach Flory talked about Rose a lot pre-game, just about wanting to see her take that next step forward and take that next step up, and this is her chance to do that here today. Hill finds that hole on the back row for another kill. So neither team, as I mentioned, was hitting great. I thought something was wrong with the stat program for a second because it said both teams were hitting 0. But no, I see it now. There's just good blocking going on, and the teams are struggling to hit at the net right now. There's a Cameron Ennis kill for Texas A&M.
And that's a nice shot by Ennis, going over the block, getting off the fingers and into the backcourt. And you're right, Casey, it's good blocks, and then because of that, when you're blocking the ball, the other team's hitters, it's going to be kind of this mental test for them, and they're going to try to start doing things to avoid that block, and that obviously ends up resulting in hitting errors as well.
Cameron Ennis, another player for the Aggies who will play all the way around every rotation, and you can see why right there with the great dig for the Aggies. LSU struggles to get the ball over. Going to have a net violation
Well,
court violation.
Chanchuli went all the way under the net. I mean, like the whole front half of her body was across the center line. And once that's a safety call right there. You've got to keep players from going all the way under like that. It was a great effort by the libero for the LSU, but that's definitely the right call by the down ref.
Overpass, Talbert goes up, gonna have a net violation. Their back row violation, I mean to say. We're gonna take a quick timeout as the Aggies are the first to 15. We've got a tie so far, Chelsea. It's not been the cleanest volleyball we've ever seen.
Yeah, and I think that's almost to be expected, though. Again, here we are mid-October. It's the first match for either of these teams. And so although they have been training together, for weeks now, it's a lot different when you have to go up against another team and kind of figuring that out. So I think it's going to clean itself up as this match progresses.
Ennis goes back to serve again for Texas A&M. Junior transfer. Stepping into the outside hitter role for the Aggies. It's going to be out just beyond that baseline. Nice attempt there, though.
Yeah, good idea, but that's a really smart watch by Ennis. She was kind of sliding to that baseline, and Taylor Voss actually the first one to call that ball out as that ball was above her head. And now I think they're going to ask for a towel maybe because
the court, the ball was wet, and so the court's wet, or Ennis where she
slid, where she dove.
Slid, yeah.
It's kind of a crucial point in this set right here as Texas A&M starts to pull away. LSU needs a side out here pretty quickly before this lead builds any more for the Aggies.
Talbert, Connor, and Davis on the front row for Texas A&M. Lauren Davis, I should say. That was a tight pass. Camille Connor can't jump. Well, she could, but
she jumped and she attacked, and Bannister said
Bannister
nope.
was there.
Yep, that was just a great play by Taylor Bannister. Again, they have seen Camille Connor for 3 years. They know what she is capable of, and especially on a tight pass like that, she's going to try to go over in two. Taylor Bannister was able to get the block up.
Still a 2-point lead here for the Aggies. We're in set number one. That's going to be a serving error, the first one of those we've seen here today.
Walters with the jump float, just unable to get that one over the net. If you see a missed serve as a coach, you really would rather see them miss deep or down the sideline. At least make the other team make a decision. When you serve it into the net, it is a free point. Well,
and there again.
Back-to-back missed serves.
So A&M and LSU trade missed serves here. See Bird Coon, she's a very calm coach. She doesn't stand up a lot. She stays on the bench, and she gets her words in during timeouts and breaks. What is going on, Chelsea? That's our third service error in a row.
And that looked like Chanchuli just mishit it. I mean, that ball, because you can tell when someone's trying to serve short, right? Or serve hard but really low to the net. That ball just kind of came off of her hand weird. She just didn't make good contact with it.
So Camille Connor goes back to the back row, which brings Triana Rush back onto the court. Very experienced front row here for the Aggies. Nice serve from Camille Connor. After 3 misses, it's an ace for the senior setter.
Yeah, that's huge for Texas A&M and unfortunate for LSU, and that's why Coach Flory is going to call a timeout.
Absolutely, and 4-point lead is the biggest lead the Aggies have had here in this first set. Talk everything SEC, Wednesdays at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app.
As we mentioned, a lot of Texas players on this LSU team, so quite a few LSU fans here at Reed Arena today, too. Excited to see their team play. Possibly didn't have to travel quite as far to get to College Station as they might have had to Baton Rouge.
Pretty impressed with the crowd that has turned out here at Reed Arena to watch this match. People were hungry for some volleyball. softly hit ball. Didn't have to hit it hard because she knew what she wanted to do was go off that block.
And that's a huge side out right there for LSU. Onwusi finishing it off with the kill. You know, again, those missed serves and then getting aced. Coach Flory calling that timeout. Anytime you have to call the timeout, you'd love to get that first point immediately coming out of it.
Bannister back to serve now for LSU, and she hits it into the net. That's not a point you want to give up right now. A&M hits that 20-point mark.
3 missed serves in a row for LSU, and that is something they're going to look back maybe later, maybe not today, but when they go back and look at the tape of this first set, are those missed serves, especially at this point during the match.
Allie Fields barely gets hers over. And then a nice hit, Camille Connor, unable to come up with a dig. Onwusi with the kill.
Yeah, great swing on that slide for Onwusi, and you could see after she got her kill, she looked at her team and she said, let's go. Let's pick this up. They have the ability to play very high-level volleyball, and right now, just a lot of errors kind of going back and forth.
Just feel like the game has slowed down a lot here in this first set of this match, which, like you said, can be expected considering this is the first time either team has stepped on the court this season, other than practicing against each other. Rush, dug up by LSU. They'll send it over. A dig there by Allie Fields. Ennis off the net. Rush there to cover the tip. Here goes Hill. And there's going to be the finishing swing. Taylor Bannister on the kill for the Tigers.
And that's Taylor Bannister from the back row, okay? Look how high she gets and is able to just unload on that volleyball. As long as she takes off from behind the 10-foot line, she is allowed to land in front of it. And she can hit basically like a front row player with a set like that.
It's only her second kill of this match. Rush off the block. Rose showing off her defensive skills there, digging that ball up. A&M almost gets the block, but Samaria Hill finds the hole for the point.
Yeah, nice job by Hill going around the block of Triana Rush. Rush was able to get a piece of it, but it's just a nice set too, getting it all the way out, and so Hill is allowed to kind of do with it what she will. She actually goes through the middle of Rush's hands, and that's something where Rush is just going to have to close that hole.
Big dig there by LSU, Paige Flickinger for the Tigers. Free ball coming now for the Aggies. Short set, Morgan Davis with the kill for Texas A&M, her third of this match.
Well, and finally, Texas A&M was able to get it to a middle. They'd been going to Rush and Ennis throughout, like, really the last couple of points. Finally got a good enough pass, went right up to Davis, who was able to put it down for the kill.
Back row, Bannister. Easily dug there by Fields. Rose on the run. No problem, though. Samari Hill, another kill. Her fifth.
This is a beautiful swing by Hill. You don't see a cross-court shot quite this sharp all the time. But Hill is able to get back and around. And this is off of a bump set. And then goes right in between Ennis and Basham. Ennis maybe thinking that ball was out and letting it go, but really nice shot right there by Hill.
Samara Hill leads all hitters on both sides of the net right now. Mallory Talbert dug up by LSU.
Great defense by the Tigers.
They'll go out outside. Cameron Ennis for the kill. A&M 3 points away now from taking this first set over LSU.
You can see Ennis talking to Connor. They're going to have a lot of that communication. They are new teammates, and although they've been through a lot of practices leading up until this match, you just don't always know how someone's going to play in game time. And so making sure they're on the same page with where Ennis wants that set.
Taylor Voss, defensive specialist for Texas A&M. Blocked by Texas A&M. Mallory Talbert gets her hands on that one. Timeout LSU as Coach Fran wants to talk about it over with her team. Now what a block by Mallory Talbert here, Chelsea. She really got up high.
Well, and talking to Bird before this match, she said blocking got Talbert on the court last year. That is her bread and butter. She is a defensive middle. What they've been doing with her more during the offseason is working on that offense. But you're right, that is a huge block for Talbert.
One of the things that Bird,
at least in this set right now, without Holland hands, are those out-of-system balls that aren't getting hit as hard, right? Holland could do something with a pass from behind the bleachers. I mean, we saw it actually happen.
Actually, we did, yes.
And right now what you're seeing is if the ball's out of system, it's kind of an easier shot. And so that's going to be something where they're really going to miss hands.
Point coach Fleury as A&M misses their serve coming out of the timeout. Called by LSU.
21-23.
Still 2-point lead here for the Aggies. 2 points away from closing out this first set.
Quick towel timeout on the court.
Carly Rose, the setter. She's only 5'6", and she's listed at 5'6" on the roster.
Which means she's probably 5'4".
Yeah, but she's got some serious hops on her, and she can really get up. We saw it already with a block. Sophomore, one of the Texans out of Tomball for this LSU Tiger team. Another lefty setter. A couple lefties going against each other here today. Going to have a touch off the block, so point Texas A&M and Cameron Ennis as Lauren Davis will come back in the front row for Texas A&M.
Cameron serving 24-21.
Set point now for Texas A&M as Cameron Ennis will get the honor for the Aggies. Tanchuli, Hill, and Flickinger in the back there for LSU. Hill mishits, and that's going to be the point for Texas A&M. They take the first set, 25-21.
Hey, great play back and forth. It's another close set. It's what we expected. The players just tried to switch sides. A very open and honest space to have these conversations.
A lot going on if you're a player right now. You've got COVID, you've got the social justice scenarios, and then you're trying to play volleyball on top of that and go to class, mostly online, but still going to class. So they've got a lot on their shoulders as players these days. But they all seem to be handling it pretty well.
Well, I think that's why they're even more excited just to get back on the court and get back to playing the sport they love, because it is something that was threatened by this pandemic, something that could and still could be taken away. And so I think that is why these players are cherishing every point of this match.
Free ball coming now for Texas A&M. Connor out to Davis, blocked. Then Connor goes up and gets the kill. She saw an opening and took it for the Aggies.
This is what Camille Connor is so good at. Not only can she dump it with the tip, but she can also go up and swing. And you can see that quick little glance, that quick little look. She is actually able to take her eye off the ball, look at the opposing defense, and see if she's got a shot.
Bad pass by Tanchuli there, so the Aggies will try to take advantage, and they do. Mallory Talbert behind the setter for the point.
And again, that slide run for Talbert, something they've really been working on, and Bird saying that is her bread and butter. She likes going off one foot. She likes going behind Connor. So when they can open up that shot for Talbert, she is just going to be that much better offensively.
It's going to be long. Going to have a touch call, though, at the net, so Bannister gets the point. Point LSU. They get on the board here in set number 2.
Yeah, and that is somebody that LSU is going to have to get going. That is only her 3rd kill of the match for Bannister. She is hitting .214, but just hasn't had a lot of opportunities yet. Got the opportunity on that last one and was able to get the touch on A&M's block.
Walters back to serve now for LSU. Right around the block goes Lauren Davis for the kill for Texas A&M. Taylor Bannister was there.
This is a really great swing by the sophomore. Again, Bannister on the outside, but that set was so far in, and Bannister had kind of already made her hitch to go out. The middle was unable to close, and that left a really big hole for Davis.
Something Bird mentioned is that A&M trying to speed up their offense, and we saw it right there.
Absolutely.
With that quick set. Free ball now for Texas A&M. Davis off the block again, another point for Lauren Davis. And you talk about somebody that's happy to be playing volleyball right now. Davis battled through an ankle injury last year that actually led to some surgery in the offseason. But she's back out, able to play here this season. Tough serve from A&M. LSU sends it over. Davis off the net. Chanchilli with a nice dig for LSU. Miscommunication or just bad timing there?
I just think it was a bad touch by Morgan Davis. She knew where she was going with it. She wanted to go to that open spot right in the front left area of LSU's defense, and she just didn't put enough oomph behind that tip, and it didn't clear the net.
Bannister now back to serve for LSU. Whitney Foreman comes back in the front row for the Tigers. Connor got sneaky there. LSU got caught on their heels a little bit.
Well, and she knew Bannister was serving, and serving from the left side of the court. Had to go all the way to the right side to get back into her base defense. She got there, but because she had just gotten there, she wasn't quite ready for that setter's dump. She truly did what she could to get there, but it was just too good of a dump by Connor.
Foreman with the big kill for LSU as they try to climb back in the second set.
That was a very big kill for Whitney Foreman. She went up and just unloaded on that ball. Only her first kill of the night, and LSU's going to want some more of those from her.
And Foreman goes to the bench now after that rotation. As Hill on Woosing and Rose are in the front row now for LSU. Lauren Davis takes advantage of a small blocker over there on the right side for the Tigers.
Let's talk about a little sister trickery. Watch Morgan Davis go up for the quick. Nope, go to the outside. That completely froze on Woosie in the middle and allowed Davis, the younger Davis, to be wide open on the outside. She was able to execute. Really nice play right there by the Aggies.
And LSU comes right back. Little misdirection of their own on Woosie. Gets the kill for the Tigers, her third. Point LSU, the Aggies lead 7-4 now after taking the first set, 25-21. Ennis dug up. Back row attack now from Bannister. But Triana Rush and Morgan Davis read that the whole way.
Well, and I like the idea by Bannister. She actually went in with a roll shot, but it just didn't get high enough that it could clear the block. And that also just shows the athleticism of Rush and Davis for them to kind of hang up in the air long enough to still block that roll shot from Bannister.
Miscommunication there, bad timing between Hill and Rose. On that one, Hill expected something a lot faster. Timeout LSU as they want to talk about it. The Aggies who jumped out to a big 9-4 lead here in set number 2. LSU taking a timeout. We'll find out if the Tigers can get back in this match here when we come back right after this.
Balance that offense, get everybody some touches. You don't have just a go-to player like Holland Hands on the roster anymore, and that's okay, because if anything, that is going to make it a lot harder on the defenses of the opposing teams to kind of guess where that ball is going.
Errant pass on serve receive for LSU. They're struggling with that right now. So free ball comes over for the Aggies. Big block at the net for LSU. Trying to rush. Digs it out for the Aggies. LSU with a chance here. Connor with a big dig. Miss hit there, and LSU comes out of that timeout getting a much-needed point.
And that is the kind of ball that I'm talking about where you're going to miss Holland Hands, because Ennis tried to get that ball back over, made the right shot, just didn't put it far enough over the net or towards the net. But Holland Hands, that's a ball that she's actually able to still make a swing on, you know? And so it's those out-of-system balls that A&M's going to have to work on a little bit.
Bad pass on serve receive. Carly Basham took responsibility for that one.
Yeah, she looked right at her teammate. She said, "That's all me. I got it.
Yep.
We'll fix it."
And that's good leadership. That's what you
Absolutely.
want to see. Fields with this one. Perfect pass. Woo, she unloaded on that one, but just wide. Point Texas A&M, and Taylor Bannister are struggling now to get those kills. She's only hitting 118 right now.
That was a great watch by Carly Basham. I mean, yeah, this is a very hard hit ball, but watch Basham. She has her foot on the line, so she knows if that ball is anywhere to the left of her, it is out. That is a great, great call right there by the libero.
Aggies back to a 4-point lead. A&M read that middle hit the whole way. Allie Morris couldn't do much with that ball.
Yeah, a little tight to the net. Morris just really had no other option but to tip it. You got to give credit to the block for Texas A&M, because they saw that was her only option and really pressed over to make sure that they were going to not let her swipe that tip off of their hands. They put it right back over onto LSU's side.
A little time to wipe up some sweat on the court. Large crowd in attendance. It's hard to tell because they're spread out, but a pretty good number. But you could hear a pin drop in this arena right now. It's so quiet.
Nice tip there by Bannister to get herself back in the positive column. 4 kills on the day for Bannister. This one coming off of the soft touch and a great effort right there by Voss. I don't think Fields would have gotten to it anyway, but they did call that ball down.
Almost had a pancake. Big swing out of bounds, though. One of the hardest hit balls we've seen out of Cameron Ennis today.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing both teams hitting the ball a little bit harder in this set, but we have seen some missed hits as well. That one just missing the sideline for Ennis.
Both teams just continue to play a little timid here in this match. Still getting used to things. Off the block, and Allie Fields wishes she was a little bit taller right there in the back row.
Yeah, it was just a nice tool by Bannister. You know, when you are that tall and you have the ability to go over the block or at least hit high on those blockers' hands, you can make shots like that happen.
Ennis off the block. Dug up nicely by the Tigers. Quick ball over. Big time swing. That's a way to use the block for Cameron Ennis. Her 4th kill.
Yeah, Ennis getting it done on the outside, and I like both teams playing some really solid defense. Both liberos are having to bump set some balls to their hitters, and people are definitely having to hit some out-of-system balls here.
I just keep waiting for that wow moment. We haven't had any big swings, any big wow moments so far in this match, and we're halfway through the second set. That was a pretty good hit right there by Bannister.
Well, they've got to get Bannister going. I mean, LSU right now, they're down by 2. They're down a set. Bannister is their go-to. She's kind of their spark plug, and they're going to need her to continue to get those kills. She's now got 6. She does lead both teams with 6 kills, and we've seen that kind of starting to come alive and her get a little bit more productive on the right side for the Tigers.
She'll remain in the front row for LSU. Voss with a nice pass for the Aggies. Set win a little too high for Lauren Davis. Connor pushed that out too much.
Yeah, a little miscommunication it looked like right there. Davis wanted something a little bit quicker inside and instead got a little bit too high of a set on the outside. So just something that they're going to have to clean up right there.
Ace there for LSU. Nice serving from Walters back there for the Tigers.
Yeah, we saw Walters miss a serve earlier. She's making up for it, coming back with an ace right there against Texas A&M. Second ace of the day for the Tigers.
They've tied this second set up now at 12 apiece. Talbert on the slide, and she's been money with that move today.
Yeah, the very first point of this match, if y'all can remember, Talbert hit a slide set into the antenna. And I said, they're going to keep going back to her, though, right there, because she likes that set. She has made the adjustment since that first error, this one going cross-court through the block, and that is a pretty hit by Mallory Talbert.
Bannister. Hard hit ball. Ennis couldn't do much with it. So Bannister is starting to come alive here for LSU right when they need her.
Yeah, Bannister's definitely heating up. She'll go back to serve now, but she is still very much usable out of the back row. That is why she plays 6 rotations. She does a good job defensively, good enough to stay on the court because she is a true offensive option even out of the back row.
Morgan Davis, quick set out in the middle for the point. And you just got to love how excited she gets.
Oh, yeah. So Davis actually grew up playing basketball and didn't start playing volleyball until her sophomore year of high school. And when asked why she chose to go the volleyball route instead of the basketball route, she goes, because we get to cheer after every point. You can't stop and cheer during a basketball game. She loved the emotion that came along with the sport and that after you got a big kill like that, you got to take time to celebrate with your teammates.
Nice pass by LSU, going to get called for.
A&M's going to get called for being over the net. Yeah, and that's just a nice job by Carly Rose, the setter for LSU. She's back row. You got to go up and try to get that ball and keep it on your side. And if the blockers are going to come over into your space, it will get called. So nice job there by LSU setter.
LSU looking to take the lead. Tied 14. Lauren Davis with a nice hit dug up. But nothing going for LSU.
Now it's the field checks in for Lauren for Texas A&M.
And I love this pass by Cameron Ennis. She almost let it go, and then at the last second decided she was going to play it. It still ended up being perfect, and it set up for a great kill by Lauren Davis.
Tangeli with a nice pass. Oh, just missed. That was probably going to be a point there for Rose for LSU, but Carly Rose just missed the net.
Yep, is it good idea by Rose, like you said, but just did not put that dump far enough over.
It's little mistakes like that, though, that start to eat you up. LSU down 2 now. And it's off the net. LSU falling all over the place over there on defense. Big dig, big swing. That set was too far out, but nice adjustment there by Cameron Ennis.
Chanchuli's going to go over and get a towel because, yeah, she was slipping and sliding all over the court. both in the left back and in the right back. And she has really been putting in a lot of effort today. But it was a great roll shot by Cameron Ennis. That's not an easy ball to hit. As you mentioned, Casey, she was so far outside. You still have to hit the ball hard enough that it clears the blockers and it clears the net. But then you want it to be soft enough that it lands in front of the defense. And so that is a really tough ball, a tough shot to make happen. But Ennis did it perfectly.
Back row attack for the point for LSU, Bannister.
I mentioned she is a true offensive option even from the back row. And it's on plays like that even with a good pass, they still think she might be their best option. And she is right there going into the back, right on the baseline. Beautiful swing by Bannister.
Blocking hasn't been as big in this second set. We've seen more hitting from both teams as they've gotten warmed up. Blocked right down to the ground, so point LSU, and they're right back in the second set.
Yeah, Morris and Hill heard you say there weren't enough blocks, and they decided they'd give you one to talk about.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, a little bit off on the set was Rush, and just because she was trying to get that ball kind of back over into the middle of the court, went right into the heart of the block. She's still got to make sure she's keeping an eye on those blockers in front of her.
Almost an ace. Tight play at the net. Rush goes up and just sweeps it. Point Texas A&M.
And I can see Coach Flory not being happy about that. She's actually going to call a challenge on this play. And I'm guessing it's going to be, she's asking if there was an A&M player in the net.
So we're going to have a review here, the first one of this match.
Yeah, you know, Casey, it was an odd play because it was an overpass, and then LSU just didn't handle the overpass well, and so there was a lot of stuff going on at the net. And so, but she walked over and immediately grabbed that challenge card.
Well, here's a look at the net. So I'm not sure what, it didn't look like that A&M was over the net at all. The challenge is that LSU have a chance at that ball, and I feel like the ball was right in the middle of the net. Looking at that, I don't see anything there that tells me they're going to overturn this.
But I will say this, regardless of how this turns out, this is a great time to call the challenge. Okay, they are going to give it to Texas A&M, so they're going to say that A&M was not in the net or over the net, whatever they were asking right there. But I do like that call by Fran Flory because you stop the momentum of Texas A&M without having to use one of your timeouts. And it was a good challenge call because I really wasn't sure what had happened.
One more time, we'll take a look at the questionable call there, and you see Triana Rush sweeps it down.
Yeah, ball got the net, but none of the players did.
So point Texas A&M. Basham back to serve now for the Aggies. Rose again pulled off the net on serve receive, unable to get a hit. And Texas A&M takes advantage of it, comes right back with the kill.
And that is a really nice play because A&M was not in system. Camille Connor took the first ball. Carly Basham actually had to bump set that ball out to Cameron Ennis, who was still able to get a very good swing. You've got to be able to do that, especially at this level if you want to win volleyball games.
Miss hit there by Basham, trying to bring Hill up, and she did. LSU continues to struggle on serve receive, and A&M wanted to take advantage of it.
Yeah, good idea right there. Did miss the serve. 3 service errors for both teams. For LSU, all 3 of those came back to back to back. So they have actually done a much better job since that little run of getting their serves over and in.
A&M hitting 214 in this set, LSU only 103. So still a low hitting percentage from both teams. That's going to help right there for Texas A&M. Triana Rush gets another one for the Aggies.
Yeah, good swing by Rush before she leaves the game as Voss will come in to play defense for her, but got Chanchuli to go after that one and just got it off of her for the kill.
Nice pass from LSU there. And allows a swing, but a block for the Aggies, and heads up play there. by Carly Rose for LSU.
I really enjoy watching both of these setters, maybe because they're both left-handed and they're both aggressive. And you know, Camille Connor definitely has the height on her side, but that's, I think, why I'm even more impressed by Carly Rose, because she is such a smart player and she knows that where she lacks in height, she's got to make up for it in other parts of her game, and that was just a really nice play by Rose.
A&M continues to hold on to a slight lead here. After taking set one, the Aggies trying to take set two. Camille Connor battling at the net. And heads up play there by Bannister, seeing that A&M had abandoned that back.
Well, and everything is going on at the net. Everybody starts to suck in, right? Because everybody thinks someone's going to tip it or go straight down. Bannister saw that there was no one in A&M's backcourt, using her height and her strength, just push that ball deep.
Going to be off the block. Cameron Ennis, point Texas A&M.
Yeah, great tool right there by Ennis. She saw Bannister's tall hands in front of her and decided, instead of trying to go around them, I'm just going to go at them but up, and got a chance to go up and off the hands of Bannister for the tool.
So Ennis, 7 kills now in this match. Nice positioning there by Bannister. Double-digit kills now for the senior.
Yeah, again, Bannister coming alive here in the second set, now hitting over 300, looking better as she gets older and more mature as a volleyball player. And that's got to be a lot of fun to have somebody who can come into your program already that good and then continue to get that much better.
Well, she's getting it done for the Tigers as they take a 1-point lead here. They're trying to even this match up now. On the road, first match of the year, mid-October. Usually by mid-October, we're talking about the NCAA tournament and the conference race. But this year is a little different, or a lot different, I guess you should say, as these two teams will meet today and then again tomorrow at 3 p.m. on ESPN. You can watch that match. LSU and Texas A&M. Tigers up 22-21 here in the second set after the Aggies took the first set. Ennis out of the back row. LSU going to try to get a point here, but the Aggie block. Lauren Davis. Looks like she got all of that one for Texas A&M.
And that is a clutch block for Texas A&M. They were really struggling in that serve-receive with Walters serving. And so for them to be able to get out of that and to get a big block and stop them, that's big time for Texas A&M.
Almost an ace, and it is going to be a mishit by LSU, so ace for Texas A&M. Not the cleanest serve we've seen, but she got it over the net. Timeout LSU as they find themselves 2 points away from being down 0-2 here in College Station.
Yeah, well, and just like that, LSU had the lead. Texas A&M.
LSU on the run again. Davis blocked. Connor goes right back to her. And LSU just seems discombobulated a little bit on terms of their passes just aren't where they need to be.
Well, here's the deal. When Carly Rose, the setter, takes the first ball, it is Chanchuli's job to come get the second contact. But that ball was so far, so close to the net. Chanchuli trying to do her job, but in that situation, you almost got to call for help. You got to ask Taylor Bannister to step up and grab that pass.
Set point now for Texas A&M. Looking to go up 2-0. Ennis runs that one down. Free ball coming now for LSU. Dug up in the back row by Ennis. Then a miss hit there by Morgan Davis. The Aggies,
yeah, there's the
asking
touch.
for the touch, and they will get it.
I was going to say, there's no way.
That gives them set point and the set win here in set number 2.
I was going to say, there's no way that ball was not touched. It had such a weird change of direction, but that was a great dig by Cameron Ennis to finish off that last play.
In this match, LSU, on the other hand, really struggled in passing, and I think that's something that they're going to really have to improve upon if they're going to get themselves back in this match. Service error to start the set is not exactly what you want to see either.
Well, it was aggressive serve right there by Hill, but more than anything, it just kind of sets the tone for your set. Automatically giving away a free point is what you want if you're Coach Flory.
Nice pass there from LSU. Back row attack now. Ennis tried to go that back corner, but really got too much of it.
Yeah, that one definitely sailed on her. Didn't quite make great contact with that one, as that one kind of flailed.
But I like the fact that A&M is trying to utilize her in the back row, even if it's out of system when she's back there, and that combats with what LSU's been able to do today. Camille Connor, that's where she's dangerous. That was a tight pass, and she just sailed it right over.
And she was blocked last time she tried to do that by Bannister. This time, keeping an eye on her blockers, went super sharp cross. Watch her take this ball and just shoot it right in between Bannister and Rose. They kind of looked at each other like, what the heck just happened? It's okay, you're not alone. Most defenders feel that way when Camille Connor does that.
Back row attack for LSU. Quick move by the Aggies. The Aggies trying to make anything they can happen. A lot of small ball going on right there on that side of the court.
Yeah, a ton of junk right there in front of the 10-foot line, and Bannister finally finishing it off with a big block.
Bannister now goes to the back row. Bad pass there from Texas A&M. Going to get a net violation, I think.
Wow. That's just an unfortunate play right there for LSU, because I was about to say, if I'm LSU, I am going after Lauren Davis in serve receive every single time. She's not passing well right now, and it's really affecting her even being able to get out and hit. And that's exactly what happened on that last play. If you're LSU, you've got to stay out of the net.
Block, Triana Rush. You can see that. Here you see why her hitting percentage is so low, but the big thing for her has been her defense in the backcourt. 8 digs.
We talk about these low hitting percentages. I'm using air quotes. I know you can't see me, but both teams in general have low hitting percentages. It truly has been that right there. Aggressive serving, very aggressive serving, and blocks that have been the story of this ball game.
So far, passing has not been there for LSU much at all here today. They've struggled mightily, especially in serve receive, and getting those balls back to the setter position. Allie Fields goes for another one here. This time it's short. Overpass from LSU. Connor goes back to Rush. Nice dig by Chanchuli. And that's a hit for LSU. A nice job by Bannister to find that open spot.
And usually you get told you don't want to just use one arm, but if you're as good with one arm as Chanchuli is, that is okay. What a dig by the libero. Sets up the swing and the kill by Bannister. Gotta love the defense for LSU right now.
Off the block, pushed up by Rush. Back to Ennis. This time she softs it over the net. Soft hits it. Hill tried to go tip over the net, but hit it just wide.
And that was a really tough ball for Hill to do anything with, as it came kind of weirdly from, I think it was Chanchuli who bump set it out there, but Hill just trying to keep that ball in play and wasn't able to do so.
So the Aggies once again up by 4 here in set number 3. Again, this match has been very slow to kind of unfold here. It's been close up 2 points. But really A&M is doing more of those kind of things, the little things right now, which is why they have a 5-point lead.
Yeah, the blocking game has definitely been good for Texas A&M. Just here in this set alone, and on Wusi, only 3 kills on the day. She's really kind of struggled to get going for LSU because she's got a great swing, but right into the heart of the block. You have got to try to go around Mallory Talbert.
Good pass there from Hill, and she'll get the swing, uses the block to get LSU a much-needed point.
And we're going to have a new setter for LSU coming into the ball game. It's going to be Darian Goins, number 6. Goins, a redshirt sophomore. So LSU seeing something that, just trying to make a change here, trying to do whatever they can to get this game turned around.
We'll see if Goins is the spark that gets them going here. Connor picking on that LSU defense a little bit, but they were ready. Ready for that hit. Nice dig. Here comes Rush off the net. Bannister with another dig. That's a block. Low hit ball, though. Gonna have a kill. Free ball coming now for LSU. Ennis finds an open spot on the court around the block. Point Texas A&M.
Another really nice job of Texas A&M's middles holding the middle blocker for LSU. Watch Morris. She's not going to get to the outside. That is going to leave one-on-one with Ennis and Goins, and Ennis takes full advantage of it.
Ennis now with 8 kills. Missed serve for Texas A&M. Yeah, Cameron Ennis, you talked about it being an unknown just in terms of what we were going to get from her. Transferred from Kansas, one of 2 players who transferred from Kansas this year for Texas A&M. Goins goes back to serve now for LSU. Talbert, there it is again. Another kill off that slide for Mallory Talbert.
And Texas A&M always has at least one middle who loves the slide. Last year, McKenna did a really good job of hitting that slide ball, and that's why I think they wanted to really focus on that with Talbert during the offseason, getting her going behind the setter. It's a really tough ball to block for the defense.
Talbert also adding 4 blocks to her stats for today. Taylor Bannister, another kill for the Tigers, trying to hang in here in this set number 3.
Just nice job by Goins. Get it to Bannister. I don't care where she is, just get it to her. Bump set it behind you. Good idea, and it worked out.
Big swing by Talbert again. Nice dig there by Goins, playing some defense. Again, they're going to Talbert. She goes cross court for another kill. Couple big swings from her on that point.
Yeah, I love seeing that from Mallory Talbert. Continue to using that play. Camille Connor going behind. Again, Camille Connor, when she jump sets, she freezes Morris. She has to stay with the setter because Camille Connor is so aggressive, and then you give your hitter a one-on-one. That's huge. That is great job by Connor.
Ennis touches that one, even though it appeared that one was going to be out, I think. Hard to tell, though. So the change at setter for LSU, the Tigers subbed in Goins for Rose here midway through the first part of this 3rd set after falling down 0-2.
You know, I wasn't seeing anything bad necessarily from Carly Rose. I think there just needed a change. They needed something, yeah.
Connor, even though you know it's coming, you just can't defend it.
Yeah, Flickinger went up with her. She made a good read that Connor was going to go over on 2. But again, she's so aggressive and she's so good at mixing up her shots. Even if the block knows, she's really good at going around them, and she did it right there.
Connor goes to the back row, the Davis sisters. And then we have Morgan Christian getting into the match for Texas A&M. First time we'll say her name, and she's going to get a kill in her first time to step on the court as a college volleyball, or as a Texas A&M volleyball player. She's another transfer from Kansas.
Yeah, talking to Bird before the match, she said Morgan has high air. That's how she explained it. She really, really gets up there, and she said she's going to be fighting for that starting outside position, getting a chance at the right side here in this set.
Low set, but Morgan Davis really took advantage anyway. Nice, looking at this match, Chelsea, the hitters have not been the story here. It's been the blocking and the defense.
Yeah, we've got 9 blocks for Texas A&M, 7 for LSU. Both of these teams offensively have not been great today, but that is because the defense and the serving, I think, has been really impressive for both of these teams.
Hill with the pass. Flickinger blocked. Christian on the right side. Miss hit by LSU, point Texas A&M. Not what you want to see after a timeout, even though it wasn't an LSU timeout, it was a TV timeout, but still LSU really needed a point there coming out of that break. Wet spot on the court. A&M switched to this new TerraFlex court is what it's called last season. A little softer on the bones if you're a player, but it's slick if it gets wet.
Yeah, well, and it just also goes to show how much work this LSU team is putting in. I mean, we've seen A&M have to wipe up some wet spots too, but the Tigers are diving and flying all over this court today.
Allie Fields, the captain for the Aggies. Back to serve. Nice pass from LSU. And a block on the outside. Cameron Ennis and Morgan Davis combine on that one. Season poll. Allie Fields continues to serve for Texas A&M. Another bad pass by the Tigers. Back row attack now coming from Flickinger behind the 10-point line, 10-foot line, I should say, and that's going to be touched. Point Texas A&M. So the Aggies starting to run away with it.
This is another great decision by Camille Connor. She knew that Goins had to really chase down that bad pass. Watch Goins come into your screen. She's late. She's late. Yes, she gets there, but she just had to sprint from across the court. Camille Connor knew that and went to her outside hitter knowing that she would have a weaker block because Goins was going to be hustling back.
Flickinger, the freshman, played high school ball a year ago. Just got a kill for LSU.
Flickinger with some ups, listed as 5'9" on the roster, but man, you would have thought she was hitting at 6'2" right there. That was a really nice swing by the freshman.
2 kills for her here today. Ennis goes through the block for the point.
And this is some great communication between Cameron Ennis and Camille Connor because Ennis had to kind of come inside the court, more into the middle of the court to make this pass. Because of that, she talked to her and got her to set the ball a little bit more inside. You can see her point at her setter afterwards saying, yes, that's exactly what I wanted. And she was able to make the swing she wanted for the kill.
Dylan Mayberry comes in for LSU to play defense. Big swing there by Christian. Mayberry will also hit out of the front row and hits that one out. Another freshman for the Tigers.
And this is a great opportunity for some of these Tiger players to get some game experience. Remember, only 8 matches in the fall, Casey, so you have got to get some of those bench players in, because if they don't have game experience, it is so hard to put them in when you really, really need them.
And you don't have the benefit of those pre-conference matches to get them some of that playing time that you might normally have. LSU continuing to struggle at the net in all aspects, really.
And this is where, if you're Texas A&M, you are starting to already think, you got to finish this match, but you're already starting to think about tomorrow. And if you can end this one with kind of an exclamation point, hey, man, we took this and we took it big time, you're going to come in with a lot more confidence tomorrow.
Well, LSU is going to have to come out, if this match ends up the way it's trending, and play a lot better than they're playing here today. Their passing has not been great. Taylor Bannister has gotten it done, but she's really it. Yeah. She's had no support behind her. And for Texas A&M, they're going to have to play better too, to be quite honest with you, if they want to see a win over an LSU team who is going to be hurting if they end up losing this match. Both teams with a lot to work on here after this first match. Nice dig by Connor there. Bump set to Ennis. Hits that one just long.
We saw one of those from her earlier, one of those deep balls where she missed a little bit, but then she really kind of turned things back around. She started doing a nice job keeping that ball in. She really hit that ball hard. She's got a heavy arm, but that one just sailed a little bit on her.
Bonet serving for LSU, and then Mallory Talbert comes in with a big swing for the kill.
We've been talking about Talbert on that slide run all day long, but with Christian on the right side, they decided to just go quick right out of the middle. Bam, right in between the two blockers. You have a new blocker in there with Williams. They decided to go right at her, and it was a beautiful swing by Talbert.
A&M 2 points away from taking this match in 3. Big swing there from Cameron Ennis. Set match point now here for Texas A&M. LSU says not yet, so it'll still be match point for Texas A&M.
Yeah, nice idea right there by Bannister, because she is such an aggressive hitter. Most defenses kind of get locked in, ready to just take a hard shot. That time she mixes it up with the roll shot. Beautiful choice.
Talbert gets the kill for Texas A&M, and the Aggies win this one in a sweep, 3-0 over LSU. 25-14 was the final score of set number 3. Chelsea?
It was fun. It was fun to watch. I know we mentioned that it was a little slow at times, and LSU obviously has some things to clean up, but I was really impressed with Texas A&M. We knew missing Holland Hands this year would be a big deal, but